That's you.
I just wanna chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she's 21, I said alright. If we don't be going, don't speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. I just wanna chill and vibe. I just wanna chill and vibe. Baby, turn up, you know who it is. Turn up, go on, turn up. Baby, turn up, you know who it is. Turn up, baby, turn up. You know who it is. Turn up, turn up. Baby, turn up, you know who it is. Turn up. That's our show. Only good. Only good vibes. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Yeah. What's good, Simples? This is your boy Buddha, and over there is the lovely.
Baby.
And we coming to you live with another rendition of Sipping and Conversation. I've been practicing that one for a little bit.
I know.
I'll be ready.
You did that.
And I pronunciated.
Stop while you were here.
Oh, yeah, stop.
Stop while you were here. Maestro.
Okay. So, baby, how was your day?
Wait, why are you so loud?
Listen, I got Miss Velvet in this.
Yeah, but Jesus.
I'm asking about your day.
Okay. I'm up.
You up?
Everybody up? Anybody else up with me? You up?
I'm up with you.
I'm just saying. Woo! You know, it's been some few weeks now, you know what I'm saying? And so I kind of was like just easing into it, you know. But today I knew that I had a mission to be out of that office and get home and you know what I'm saying, and be ready to rock and roll. Man, I almost had a meltdown because I was doing a report. And then I looked back, I'm like, where these numbers come from? I didn't run the report again, so I still can't figure it out. But I was actually able to recover, pull it together, and I left work 30 minutes late, later than my office hours time. So I think that was a successful day.
Heck yes. Heck yes.
And I got home, I could take me a nap. Man, it was on. So it was a great day to be fucking great.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be a great night.
I'm here for it. How was your day, baby?
Well, you know, they know how to get the butter from the duck. They know how to get the butter from the duck.
But I am eating, ladies and gentlemen, so.
But, you know, at the end of the day, all jokes aside, man, we are blessed to be able to be working and being able to do the things we love to do in life. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I can't complain. So, how was your day, Miss Velvet?
My day was pretty freaking amazing. Me and my children been homeschooling them. I have 2 teenagers, so really great day. Really great.
How is that working for teenagers?
It's great. You know, I kind of forget that they're here sometimes, so they come downstairs because they're hungry. So,
gotta feed them. Gotta remember that they need to eat.
Right, and when they need a driver, you know. So.
That's how it is. They takers, man. They take us as parents. Don't get me started.
But we have wonderful relationships. Both of them are honor roll students. So I'm really.
That's what's up, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. My baby, I don't know what to say about her. We've been training for these days. And I ain't even mad, you know? She was doing the homeschool, well, the virtual school. And then she was like, yeah, I can't do this. She made an executive decision. She made the phone call. She did whatever she had to do to get with the counselors, and she was like, "Yep, it's set up." I co-signed on it, and boom, she was like, "I'm going back to school."
I love
And she has a job, so she knows how to do the whole social distance, face, everything, all of that. So I'm like, if this is because this is her senior year, so it's like you don't want to be letting no COVID stand between you and graduation day.
Exactly.
Wow.
I don't care if you don't walk across the stage. You're gonna give me my diploma.
Yeah, I'll be in the little bubble suit.
That's
You're gonna
right.
give me that. Well, my mama say, the high school diploma is hers. So the high school diploma is mine.
Yep.
All my work.
It's
So,
happening.
look at me.
That's right.
Us. We back.
Mm-hmm. You just got to talking and forgot you was in a whole
We ain't
show.
forgot nothing.
Well,
We here. We know what's
okay.
going on.
So what you sipping on, baby, since you know what's going on? What you sipping on?
Well, since you asked,
Mm.
look at that glass.
Oh, okay. It's golden.
Golden. What I'm sipping on is some honey whiskey with a little sweet and sour.
Ooh.
Because I got scolded for drinking my dark. I like to drink my dark liquor straight.
Mm.
But somebody said, she over there, look out, just look out.
No. You ain't gonna do me like that.
That's what you were doing. Like you kept making a mockery of me, and I was like, well, who? So now I gotta put Chaser and my dark liquor on the show.
Right. I don't need you slushy.
I ain't gonna be slushy. I know I'm a responsible adulter.
Okay.
Responsible adulter. Okay. Well, I'm sipping
All
on.
things in moderation.
I'm sipping on some Elbirski.
Elbirski.
Not the yak like always. I'm going beer today. I want to be coherent for this one.
Yeah, do that.
Mhm.
What you drinking?
I'm sipping on a little bit of vodka and some cranberry juice.
Oh, I like the glass.
Thank you.
I like the
Man,
glass.
you can't go wrong with vodka and cranberry juice.
Okay.
And cranberry.
So we're going to jump right into this right quick.
Uh-huh.
Who is you? Let the sippers know who you are, Miss Velvet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I go by Velvet Loves, and I am, I would call myself a suitcase entrepreneur. So I travel a lot. I've been to over 80 countries, and in over 60 of those countries, I've done community relation projects where I give and I help and I teach and I volunteer, and I do that now in my local community. So I'm called the president of Random Acts of Kindness, and that's what I do. One thing that I really love doing is coaching people and teaching them how to go from pain to joy. When they have it's a lot of us out here with abandoned hearts. I come from parents that just didn't know better, had a lot of trauma growing up in that way. So I'm able to teach people how to talk that out and be in a better place and no longer be a victim, but be victorious and take those incidents as the reason why you're shining today. So
That's what's up.
That's it. That's who I am.
Page can't come up. Okay. What made you get into the random acts of kindness?
I grew up very much like an unloved child when it came to my mother. She just was incapable of loving me in the way that you should love a little girl. So it made me love more. Like I wanted to give everybody love. I wanted to get it, anything for a compliment, or so it just kind of made me into this very giving, loving person. And I started doing it as a contest. Anybody I would date, anybody, my children, my nephews, and we would play games where when I take them out to the movies or take them out to the park, we're gonna see who can get the most random acts of kindness, who can open the most doors, who could pay for the most meals behind us. And after a while, I have everybody doing it all the time that's around me.
Oh, I bet that, hey, that's real sweet.
Thank you.
I'm with you. Okay. So we've been busy. So semi-busy, we've been relaxing, doing our thing. We talked at the end of the last season. When people see season 8, they think we've been doing it for 8 years. How our seasons work is we go 12 weeks and then we take a break. So for any of our new sippers that come, sippers, I'm being too proper. So any other new sippers that come up in this joint, that's how we roll. So we're back. We got 12 weeks of bringing it.
Ooh.
Okay. And we ended our last season, and technology at its finest had some technical difficulties, so we weren't able to broadcast that last
It was serious.
episode, and it was really a good one.
Yes.
I only was able to capture like the last 30 minutes or something like that, so that I have that piece on our audio podcast platforms that's already there. And so one of the things we were discussing was about different sexual orientations and so forth. And our guest tonight was one of our guests then. And so we felt it was important to run that thing back. And so here we go. And so what we're going to be talking a little bit about tonight is a particular orientation. And this orientation, which is not a how would I say, popular, one of the popular known types. We're going to be speaking about asexuality.
Who knew?
Who knew? And so with us is a lovely, beautiful young lady that fits the description. Okay.
Yes,
And what she's going to do is share her experiences. She's going to tell you what it is and why. Who, what, when, where, where. Okay, before you ask. But if you got any questions, comments, you know what to do. Drop it down.
Drop it down. Okay.
All right. So
take it away. Take it
away. Yes, hello. I am Velvet and I am very asexual. And asexual does not mean aromantic, which that does exist. For me, I do have romantic feelings. I do love to be romanced, and I love sexual energy too, but I don't love penetration. And I've been asexual for a few years. That doesn't mean that I've never had sex in those few years. I just hardly ever, very rarely want that level of connection. I rather my connections come through other ways. And there are so many other ways that is beyond penetration. So I'm an asexual woman, and it's not easy in these dating streets. Even when I tell the guys, like, look, I don't want you never not to have sex because I don't have sex. Like, go out there and get somebody. Like, get another woman, but I just don't want it. And we can still have this amazing connection. So, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And people are always like, what does that mean?
What's that mean? Okay. I was like that my damn self. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna say it. Like that my damn self. But you educated me, so that was great.
Yeah.
Well, when you do your homework, and you just deal with people that have different orientations, I found like there was a plethora of orientations that have come about.
Oh yes.
Would have no reason to look into it until now.
Yes.
And so I mean, the earliest what I learned was pansexual.
Yes, absolutely.
So then now I actually now can say I know someone that's asexual, so it's kind of amazing that you can actually not really put a person in a category, but a person that identifies themselves in those different orientations that you see now.
Yes.
So what led you into that? Is there a reason?
Yes, I think so.
That you would like to share, I should say.
Yes. So I'm totally open with my life. I love sharing my experiences. So, but I would say that in November, I think of October of 2015, I was raped on my first date. I met up with this guy through Tinder, and we ended up having a 12-hour date because he didn't want it to end. So he was like, let's go here, let's go there. And at the end of the night, went back to his hotel where my car was valet parked because we took Uber everywhere we were going. And he just was like, can I just come up and just cuddle? And so I was just like, it's like 3 a.m. I really need to get home. He was like, just cuddle 20 minutes. And I ended up being raped that night, unfortunately. So I thought I was pregnant for like months after that rape. I thought I'm pregnant because my cycle just did not come back. And I ended up I went for 4 months in a row, like I must be pregnant. And they were like, you're not pregnant. We don't want to see you again. This is your 4th time, and come back in 6 months. If your cycle doesn't come back, you're menopausal. And I was 38 years old. So suddenly I go from, I had just retired that June. I'm happy. I made all my dreams reality. I'm free. I'm living a freedom-based lifestyle. And then boom, first date in my new city I just moved into, and now I'm full menopausal a year later. And I think going through all of that at the same time, the first time I was raped, I was 5 or 4, I think. But I think my body just was tired of the trauma to the womb area, and I never had another cycle, and I just didn't want to be penetrated after that. So I do think that trauma probably led me here. And the beautiful part about that is, if that is accurate, then once I'm fully healed in whatever area I need to be, I think that I'm gonna be like 60 looking for Tyrone, like, where you at? So that's what I'm hoping happens.
Tyrone.
I mean, that you said that's interesting.
With the Timbo boots. I mean, Tyrone.
What I find is interesting is, first of all, yes, you had the traumatic experience, and I'm sorry to hear that, especially no age, 4, 2, 25, whatever. That is, all right. But you're still hopeful that there could be something different, in your life, and you're not playing that victim.
Yes.
So how do you get beyond, being the victim?
Yes. You have to. If you don't get beyond being the victim, you're always you're gonna suffer, and it's just no need for suffering. Once this traumatic thing has happened, now you go through that process, but on the other side of that process should be healing, and should be understanding, and should be giving yourself grace. And with that comes getting over being a victim. And I tell people, you can typically tell if you're a victim by the way you tell your story. If you can't talk about a certain story because you know you're going to break down, you're probably telling it from a victim standpoint.
Mm.
And that's really a defining way. If you kind of get choked up a little, and it's okay and it's normal, but you may want to evaluate, what did I learn from that? What did I gain from it? How did that make me a better person? And then once you figure that out, and now you can say, okay, now let me retell the story.
Well, it's I can see the the victim
Mhm.
being in their victimized mentality, depending on the extremities of the trauma, of course, and I can empathize that they are not as forgiving or accepting of the moving on part. So I haven't been a victim. I haven't had any traumatic experience on that with regards to that, any assault, so I don't understand, but I can empathize with it because I can only imagine. I don't know if I would be so easily forgiving.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Go ahead.
Question.
Yes.
So no, like, I'm listening. I'm hearing. I'm trying to get it all together. So for the healing process of the traumatic experiences, you said you identify with asexuality,
Mhm.
and are you done healing, or is it still a progressive thing for you? Like, you feel like you're out of space, or you got to keep growing? You got to continue to heal from this experience. Did it ever go away? Is it still happening for you mentally? What's going on with that? That's just one question.
Yeah, that's such a good question. Because I think that we're gonna be healers for the rest of our lives, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you ask me today, like, are you healed? Like, my ego is like, hell yeah, I'm healed. Like, damn
Mm-hmm.
right, but reality, I don't know. I know actually that I'm not fully healed, because I'm maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm healed, but I'm just a different person. So certain things that I used to love, and I'm just like, yeah, I could do without. But is that because I'm an older woman now, and that's just was a season at that point?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I think that I'm healed, but I don't know,
Okay.
to be quite honest. But it feels that way. And
Okay.
every day I'm learning new things. And so I hope that I'm not healed in that sense. I hope that I have more things to learn about myself and my sexuality and my womb area.
Do you think that maybe you are, I don't want to say covering, but do you think it's maybe
Masking.
masking
Well, I
to
have therapy,
deal with
I
it?
have psychs I talk to, and
Mm-hmm.
doctors, and so I don't have a lot to mask. I really have a high level of emotional intelligence, and I have helped so many other sexual survivors. I've created groups, I've I've done this work on so many levels that I
Mm-hmm.
do feel that it's just a healing. It's just an understanding of how we become the badasses that we are through a lot of pain.
Okay. So we have a question from one of our sippers.
Yes.
How long do guys stay around after telling them that you don't do penetration?
You know, that's a damn good question. You know, let me tell you, guys don't stick around long when they find out I'm not religious. They don't stick around long when they find out I don't want to be married. They don't stick around long when they find out I'm done having kids. They don't stick around long when I tell them they're a narcissist. If I see it, I tell them, you know, this is gaslighting. What you're doing is gaslighting. They don't stick around long after that. They don't stick around long when I say, you know, so they don't stick around long. You know, it really takes a very special man to understand all of that. But what I will say is that I've had long-term relationships, that 7-year relationships. I've been married twice, you know, so I have an ex-boyfriend who I broke up with 2 years ago that won't leave me alone still today. So he was just here like 3 days ago. But so I would say that men, you know, they love me, but the new guys, that's where I have the problem with. I don't have a problem with solid people that know me connecting with me, but when I meet somebody new just at a cigar bar or something, it's off-putting for sure. Even when I say, you know, I'm not the type that tells you not to have sex. I'm just letting you know I don't. It's definitely off-putting for most men.
So let's dive into that right there, because it's interesting. So when you tell a guy, go have sex, and the whole idea and premise of them being around you is to actually be with you, what are some of the reactions that you get?
I get, so you just don't give a fuck about me, do you? And it's like, I love you. Like, I want you to be happy, please. Like, you're a happier person after you get some. And then
oh man, that's great. Go ahead.
And I also get and you're not gonna be mad. And so, and then I'll tell you what my favorite response was when I caught my boyfriend cheating on me. And I just was like, dude, like, I knew that you guys had a connection. I knew it, and you kept denying it. And now this girl, I love her, and y'all been fucking behind my back. Like, what? Why? And he literally just was like, it's not easy for a man to tell the truth. Like, I know that you don't mind, but how do I don't know. I'm not built, you know? So that was the realest shit ever, where he just was like, teach me how to tell the truth. Yeah.
Oh, you want to tell the truth?
You know, I can agree with that. You know, that was me. Not in your situation, but I was the same way. You know what I'm saying? I was cheater extraordinaire, community dick.
But no reason.
But it was because I grew up not letting my right hand know what my left hand was doing, right? So it was easy to, you know, move in stealth and silence and hurt other people, right? It was easy to do all that until I met a young lady who showed me it was okay to tell the truth and she's still gonna be there.
Yes.
Not all the time. That don't happen all the time. I'm sorry. It don't. You give somebody the truth, they go running for the hills. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out of this bitch. I can't take this. I cannot deal with this.
Well, see, the trick is, it's not that, you know, I think it's just taking away the option. When you take the option out, you know, that you don't have to. No, I'm not saying necessarily you go out there and just run around all willy-nilly and what have you, as if you have no regards or, you know, discipline or nothing. But at the same time, you know, let's have a discussion about this. You know, like I'm now more interested in wanting to know, well, why?
So you want to know why? Oh no, is it mine or yours?
Temporary fulfillment. Look, now we gotta have some kind of understanding. Like we gotta get beyond doing the same old teens, 20s, 30s, like there's no evolution in this thing at all. This where we at all your life? Okay.
I'm gonna back this thing up a little bit. I'm gonna back this thing up because I want to talk about the elephant in the room. She said something earlier. She talked about being raped. Once at about 4 or 5, and then she said again at 38, right? See, I listen. See, I listen. So the elephant in the room, we could. It's easy to talk about rape, but let's talk about trauma and what it pertains to us as minorities, and how I don't know the statistics. Yeah, almost got tongue tied. Bam, I was right.
Bring it back. Just slow it down. Get your brain on the same page.
No, I don't know the statistics, but in our culture, in a movement, trauma has happened every day.
Yes.
It may not be rape, but for me, I grew up in a time where I was always looking for my dad's approval, right? And when I didn't get it, or when that love I felt was severed from my perspective, because it's always internalized from your perspective. They may think something totally different. It set me on a different course of doing stuff and doing things to other people that hurting other people that I necessarily need that type of energy around them, right? And that could be considered a trauma.
Yep.
Not trying to minimize what I went through, but I'm just sharing my story to help share somebody else's story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I heard you say, so what about your mother, just before I get into that? What type of trauma did you deal with there?
Well, I mean, I just felt like love mom. Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you as well.
Right.
I just felt like she stood by her man. So when I felt like I needed her the most, she was actually doing what she was supposed to do. I married this guy, my dad. I married this guy. I'm gonna stand by him. Regardless of I love my son, he's wrong. He's got to learn, and that's what it was. And I felt like in her doing that, she didn't love me enough. But that was quite the opposite. You know what I'm saying? She did love me, but she was trying to set a standard for me. Understand, like if you get a woman in your life, she needs to be this somewhat type of way. I'm not saying exactly, but some type of way that she needs to be standing by you thick and thin, regardless if it may not, she may not totally agree.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I heard you
She's
say.
not gonna totally agree, and she ain't gonna stand up. Okay, just sorry.
Gee. Well, I guess I got some work to do.
Mama, man. So what I heard you say is that you kind of dealt with abandonment from both parents in different ways, and you dealt with seeking love and not being fully happy with the way love was given to you from both sides. And would you say that's accurate?
I'm gonna say that's accurate. I never thought about it in that way until this moment. It could have played a very good role in why, even to my children, how we interact. One thing begets another, and you think you're good, but then you may not be good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's exactly what happens. And that's why it's important that we get smart and we get smarter, because your mom and dad did exactly what they thought was the right thing to do. Right. So they didn't realize how their parenting style traumatized you. And now it's likely that your parenting style has traumatized your children just as mine has. But the best part about that is once you begin healing yourself and saying these things out loud, it allows you to take a look at that and say, well, this is why I'm doing this and that, and I now know better, so I'm gonna now do better. I want to hug my grown son. I want to, say I love you more and do all those things that I didn't even get. I wasn't taught how to do these things, but I want to communicate better, a lot of times we just keep repeating the traumatic cycles because that's what mama did. And it's really not okay. We have to do better than the previous generation, and we have to stop these generational curses. We do that.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna bring this back because one of our siblings again, he wants us to go back.
Okay, let's go back.
He said, you mentioned you were married.
Yes.
How tempted were you to have penetration with your husband?
Well, so I was married twice, and in both those marriages, I was fucking. So,
so carry on.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's be clear, Simples that's coming in. First of all, we are having a discussion with Velvet Loves, who is living her life as an asexual woman. Okay. She is discussing with us, sharing with us a traumatic event that occurred in her life. And as a result, she transitioned into this sexual orientation preference. Okay. She has not always been this way. She has children.
Right.
And she has had a husband. Two of them. Okay. That required
penetration. Well, no, you don't have to. She did it the old-fashioned way.
and she liked it.
I love it.
So it's now, while she is healing.
Yeah, the last 5 years. Yeah.
She did mention that she is actually relatively hopeful that she will,
continue on,
be in her 60s and seek out
be great
Old Town Road.
Okay.
No.
With the Tim Zone.
Or peak hair would be good.
With no creases in the Tim now, don't have
right.
Oh, yes, she is being hopeful. She is not allowing the trauma to consume her to the point where she's shut off. She's actually doing the opposite. She is still heavily involved in community service activities. She's, beautiful, as you can see. She dates with no penetration.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see people all that. It's so much more to sex.
So,
well,
I know somebody sitting over here like, good God Almighty. I can't even go a date. So yeah, he gonna lose it. If I said, yeah, so about that, asexuality.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's get back to this asexual.
Okay.
What's some? I really want. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, take it. So, like, I mean, for those, not for me, because I understand it. We've had this conversation, but for those, you were talking about you were okay with them having sex with other people, right? Mm-hmm. So, in a monogamous world, right? A monogamous world, that's unheard of for a woman, regardless if they having sex with their mate or not, to allow their mate to go outside of the covenant of what they have built, right?
Yes.
So kind of let's talk about your thought process in allowing your mate or guys you choose to be involved with on an emotional level. That's it.
Okay, I'm gonna give my thought process in two great stories.
Okay.
So my thought process is, one, sharing is caring. And two, I don't want to be caring is caring. Let's be clear. And two, I don't want to be anyone's end all be all. Like, I don't want it. Like, look, I don't want to cook, call Sheila. I don't want to fuck, call that person. Like, I don't want it. I don't do nothing I don't want to do. And just because I don't do it, don't mean you don't get to do it. You go do it.
How do you get, okay, I like that. So how did you get to that level? Were you that way before you became asexual, or how did you get to that level where you're talking like, go ahead and do that? You don't want to be, I get that not wanting to be the be all, but you know, some people can't get past their own nose to allow somebody else to be great.
Yeah.
You know
I've always been, my first boyfriend, I kind of recently connected with him. I hadn't seen him in many years, but I've been looking for him. So finally we connected 2 years ago, and he was like, you remember Doug? And I was like, no. He was like, you don't remember Doug? And I'm like, what? Who was Doug? He's like, man, if I see Doug today, I'm still gonna kick his ass. And I'm like, what did tell me?
Living in the past.
So apparently we was 10. And he was my boyfriend. We were boyfriends from 8 to 12 years old. Like,
oh Lord.
I know. He was my boyfriend for 4 years. Like,
That's a long time. That's a long time to kid you now.
Right. It was serious. And apparently Doug used to give me lunch money. And so my boyfriend was mad about it. And he told me that I said, look, Doug is paying for our lunch and Doug gives me money. And then I give you food. So if you keep complaining about him, you're not gonna be my boyfriend no more. He's gonna be my only boyfriend. So
teach him how to love you.
Okay. So all my life
I've name for that. What's the name for that?
Pimp.
Pimp and lunch buddy. Oh, okay. Hey, listen.
Amorous.
Oh, okay. You was like, hey, I'm gonna sit next to you. If you give me your Swiss roll, I'm gonna sit next to you for the week.
Right. I need you to be quiet. Like, you my man, you know that. Relax. Like,
you my man, he my boyfriend.
So you mentioned polyamorous, right?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
That means, like most people, I'm capable of loving more than one person at the same time. And anybody that's your friend, if you say, yo, you still love her, they're gonna be like, yeah. Or sometimes you love people just on Facebook, never met them in real life, but you know that you love that person. You know that anytime somebody has passed away who you didn't really know, and you realize, damn, like, I love that person. So I think with the difference between me and anybody else is that I tell my partners when I love other people. I don't keep it a secret.
Because the reality is you can actually love more than one person.
We got kids, we got parents, we got siblings. We know we could love more than one person.
It's, but we were just taught you can only have that love, special love for that one person.
And it's bullshit.
Well, I mean, it's bullshit. Because you can have sex with many people.
And only love one.
But you can only love one.
It's
that
not
makes sense. It just don't. But I get it. I understand why people, because they come from
traditional Christianity.
Exactly. And that's just Christianity. There's a lot of different religions that has that tradition going on.
Yeah, I grew up Muslim. Yeah,
Westernized.
Westernized.
Yeah. Because outside of that, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
And so, yeah, I've gone to red carpet events with 2 boyfriends at a time. Like I've called people back, like, "Hey, can I get a +2? Both of my boyfriends are coming." So it's I try to make it as normal as possible.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. All right? So it took a lot of thinking for me to wrap my mind around the asexuality and polyamorous lifestyle mixed together type thing, because a lot of people, that oneness part of that oneness, meaning that's the sexual part of polyamory, is what they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? On a base level, that's exactly what they're looking at. Oh, I got 2 girls, and it's more than that, obviously. But that's where they, on the base lower level, that's where they at with that. So when you was telling me that you were asexual, I was like, okay, now how the hell does this work? Right. But then when we talked about it, it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense.
But then let me ask, because by definition, generally asexual orientation they're not romantically, they don't have the romantic feelings and sexual or romantic. So you already are like over here in your own little cluster of definition,
Well, I would say
how do you make people, not really, how do you make it make sense to someone?
Well, so asexuals normally are pretty romantic. I mean, you have different types of asexuals, but there's a difference between aromantic and asexual. You have aromantics who love to fuck. You have asexuals who love romance. So, so how do I make it make sense? It's just to say, I like orgasms. You know what I mean? I'm asexual. I don't want penetration, but I love pleasure. I love orgasms. I do quirky things with my elbows and my knees. You know what I mean? So like,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Hold on. Forgive me now. Forgive me. I'm just. Forgive me. Believe me. You say elbow?
Yes.
So you just told. So you telling me, hey man, I'm not gonna let you put this in my vajayjay, but you can put your knee.
Go get that coconut oil. Let's do this.
This is a whole new type of freaky for me.
I'm an asexual freak.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so
elbow love. I'm gonna have to get you a t-shirt with that one.
Because you don't, this penetration right now is not happening. How do you give pleasure? Well, is that off the table?
No, I love giving pleasure. So no, I love it. I love pleasure and I love touch. So no, I give all types of pleasure. I mean, tantric and kundalini and just whatever niches they're into, whatever fantasies. Like there's a lot that can be done with an imagination like mine when you don't want penetration.
See that? Okay. So, now my question. What do you hear the most? So, well, how can I say? What basically that's what I want to know. What do you hear the most? Like people, how they try to convince you that you can, like, you just ain't had the right man, or
You wait till you get a load of this, baby. Woo! We gonna tell you.
So what are you tired of hearing?
You haven't met me yet. Girl, when I lay this on you, girl, I'm gonna knock all that out of you. You haven't met me. I mean, it's really dangerous, really, because my last date, I believed him. He was like, look, I know what you've been through. I'm not, I just really want to spend a night. And I really believed his words because he brought up my history and made me feel comfortable. But that whole night I was fighting him off of me. Like he just could not, he just was like, after that massage and like,
Whoa.
I mean, I just had to fight him off of me all night.
Hold on, back that up. That's the player move right there. Did he offer you a massage or he asked you for what?
He offered me.
Oh, that was player. Oh, he good.
And he was very
thrown
off that I didn't change my mind. And I'm just like, dude, do you hear anything I said to you? Like, he really thought he was special. And it's terrible. Like I said, I've been at this for 5 years. So there have been plenty of times where men have walked away with the unnecessary bruised ego because in their heads, after this amazing date, all this money I've spent, you gonna want this. And it's just like, no.
But you communicated, you were upfront, you were deliberate, and you were intentional about the situation, but yet he was convinced that he could change the narrative.
Absolutely.
Why do men do that?
It's so unfortunate.
Well, why do men do it? Because let me tell you, man.
Huh?
Let me tell you. Us as men, we always feel that we are the king. Period. Not a king, the king.
Okay.
And that was given to us since birth. Most of us, or most kids in general, not man or woman. I'm not gonna be gender specific. Kids in general, we have this you are the best, you are precious, which you are mentality. You are the princess and you are the prince and king. And we treat them as such to the point where it hinders them the older they get. You know what I'm saying? Instead of learning them life skills, they feel like everything need to be handed to them on a silver platter.
Yeah, I can see that, especially if you nurture it so much and you never really allow the child to transition into reality.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you're always coating it.
Yeah.
Right. You just feed them.
On a deeper level, the problem is women aren't believed. People don't believe us.
Mm-hmm. So, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's why they go to great lengths to catch you cheating. Oh, you did this, and here's the proof. I get it.
So, Silvers, like I said earlier, for those that's tuning in, that's going to come and check this show out later, because you're just unable to watch it on the live. We are talking with the lovely Velvet Loves.
Yes.
She is a woman that is living her life asexual. Okay. Tell the people what asexuality orientation is.
Asexual is when you don't have sex. I don't enjoy penetration, but I do enjoy orgasms.
Okay. Who knew? And elbow love. No.
I can't believe he is staying clean. Okay. This is
okay. Woo. All right. So we got past that. We got past that. I'm past that now. No, I'm past
on.
I'm past that now.
If y'all got any questions, go ahead and drop.
So, with that being said, we talked about asexuality. We talked about a little bit about trauma. We talked about her trauma. I came in, shared a little bit about my little trauma. It's little.
My little trauma.
But it ain't no bigger than the others. Ain't not one trauma ain't no bigger than the other. So, what message would you like to illustrate, right, to the people today?
Okay.
Dealing with trauma.
Yes, that's a great question. So, I would love to answer this. So what I want to say, right now your life is likely successful, or maybe you're not where you want to be, but you may be down on yourself. You may find yourself talking negative to yourself, or you may find yourself not being as loving to your partner and to your children. And I would say that if any of that resonates with you, that there's a great chance that you have parents who are unhealed and who instilled some trauma in your life because of it. It's likely that they may even suffer with conditions, and they just loved you in the best way that they could, but it caused a certain level of abandonment. It caused a certain level of pain, hurt. um, and if that is the truth for you, or it could be something as big as a rape or assault. If that's true for you, one way to heal yourself and be better is to, one, forgive yourself. Take that off of yourself. And a quick way to forgive yourself is to forgive that person. um, and it doesn't mean that you have to be, now you could call them up and no, put up a barrier because they hurt you, or say what you have to say to them and then put up a barrier. But forgive them, because you're doing it for yourself so that you can now stop being a victim. Now, another thing I would say, after you forgive, then look at what happened because of it. In my case, I went down a very deep depression after my rape. I was suicidal, and it forced me to finally look at myself and understand that this is an ongoing trauma, and it just triggered a lot of things that I had been suppressing from my childhood. So it forced me to come face to face with long time ago traumas. So go deeper and forgive, and then learn. I want you to look up complex PTSD with the C in the front. We talk about PTSD all the time, but we need to talk about complex. That means it's ongoing trauma. And that's normally done in relationships and done in our childhood. So, and if you're in a relationship with someone that's traumatized, it's not a pretty relationship, so you need to together get some help, get some counseling, get some coaching. But it can really bring you out of that place by just simple questions and simple guidance, and learning to see the beauty of it. What the beauty I saw in my trauma was, I'm an amazing person. This happened to me so that I can now talk to other people and show them how to come out of it. It made me more aware and be more loving to my family and my children. So a lot of positives came out of that thing. And now I'm at a point where it's just, I pop up happy, every day. I'm ready for the day. And those days that are not easy, because not every day is easy, I just always try to focus and show gratitude. And gratitude journals help. At least 3 things in your gratitude journal, you would change the way your brain thinks. So that's what I would say. That that's a great start.
Right. So I heard that. So I'm gonna ask you about the other types of trauma. Like, let's say they witness a murder, nothing personal to them exclusively, but they witness somebody die in front of them. They might need to. Would you say they need to handle that a little differently, because it's not like on a personal level as far as somebody did something to me personally? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
How would they maneuver themselves in a way to get that help that they need, when all it was a visual, a quick shot visual of something that startled them, but it can't shake it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. That right there is PTSD when it's just a one-time event. And what has helped a lot of the people that I've coached through that is we go back to that place, and then I have them close their eyes, and then they picture the scene, and they tell me what they feel, they tell me what they see, and then we close our eyes, we go into a deep meditation, and those pictures, I have it broke down. Where do you feel it in your body? If you're traumatized or triggered, figure out, where do you feel it? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your stomach? Like where do you, what color is it? Sometimes we can feel it and then say it's blue. I see red, I see, and then close your eyes and see that picture and break that picture up in tiny pieces as you're meditating and breathing. And every time you breathe out, just scatter those pieces about. And eventually you desensitize yourself to that event. So now when you hear a loud gunshot and it's July 4th, it's not as startling because you have kind of taken that event in, and you've been able to, now you can take deep breaths and you can just breathe it out. You can just disperse the thought, and you can remember that right now at 9:08 or 6:08, I'm in this present moment, and I'm going to take a deep breath, and it's okay.
Good. Now you mentioned about, coaching. Is this one of your entrepreneurship endeavors?
Yeah, I've been doing this. I get calls. I just had a call the other day from someone who I don't even know how they got my information, but her daughter was suicidal, and she just called me right in the heat of that, and just like, please, talk to my daughter. And I was able not only talk to the daughter, but her brother too. And next week I'm paying for them to on an outing just to get out in Jacksonville, because the little girl just is tired of always being in the house. She just is like, I'm just tired. Like I'm always in pain. I'm always this, I'm always that. So I would say that, yeah, this is another one of my entrepreneur pursuits, but this is something I've been doing my whole life, helping, and I want to really do it this time in a bigger way, because there's so many people out here that need healing. We're stuck in a house with narcissists all day long, and abusers and alcoholics. It's sad.
Yeah. So how can they reach you if that's the case? Are you officially reachable?
I really should be. And right now I'm just been so local with it, and I just been this quiet professional. So I am branding myself more and going to be, I know it's terrible. People always tell me that, but I'm coming out of retirement. I'm going to start, branding myself in that way. So right now.
So soon.
Yes.
But you just started yesterday. You said
started what?
You said you got a new podcast, right?
Oh, yeah.
See?
Okay, the podcast, Pop Up Happy, but again, I'm just starting. So everything is going to be Pop Up Happy. And I'm really excited. I want us every day to wake up, pop up happy. And I want, when you get in those moments of trauma, just to breathe your way out of it. And
this is really exciting. I think people are probably wanting to ask more freaky questions.
Penetrational questions.
Right. And then, but I'm trying to think, like, what would the sipper say?
Well, I got it, man. I'm a sipper myself.
Man. I know you are. So I'm waiting on him to, like, because he's being real calm.
Come on, ask me.
I'm with this, man. I'm with the shit.
He gonna help the people in the bike.
Yeah, we've had conversations. I'm gonna ask this question because we had a conversation last time, so I'm gonna revisit it so we could, you could tell the sippers. So part one of the question: what are your do's and what are your do's and don'ts? So what do you don't look when you red flags, I guess I would say red flags when looking to date somebody, a man. What would you consider your red flags?
Red flags is someone who's switching up on the story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, another red flag is honestly someone that doesn't have a good relationship with their parents.
Okay.
Another red flag, honestly, is someone that, unfortunately may come from a broken home, because what we have to understand is we're likely growing up with unhealed parents. And so it's only a red flag until you can determine if that person has put in the work.
Okay.
Are they even aware that they have work to do coming from an environment like that? Mm-hmm. So that's can be a red flag. It doesn't mean it is, but it can be. Another red flag is someone who you find out have children and they didn't tell you that at first. Think so. I would say, stop looking at these red flags and wearing them in ties and in dresses. Like, see that red flag and go that way.
Okay. So
too many of us are trauma bonding.
So with that being said, right? Mm-hmm. These red flags and broken, and I guess we in the other conversation you was like, you don't do broken men, right?
Right.
Now, how does that work? Mm-hmm. How does that work? Don't doing broken men, knowing the asexual, how you became asexual mm-hmm. in your journey of healing yourself and not quite being all the way total healed mm-hmm. in a situation. How does that work when you're telling somebody else that they can't, you're not gonna, that red flag is gonna be an instant no-go?
Yeah. So
I got before you answer, just me without the trauma, okay? If I were to have had an experience, I definitely can't deal with somebody that ain't even trying to get their shit together, or they got, because how do you, that's just putting garbage on top of garbage.
What?
At one point is we gonna take the goddamn trash out. Okay, that's just me. You'll go.
I would say that, I think that we all are healing. So I'm okay with someone having some type of issue, but if that issue crosses the line of knowing how to treat me, knowing mm-hmm. how not to punch a wall, knowing how, I just see that you're aware mm-hmm. and you're trying, then that's fine with me. You don't have, none of us are perfect, but but you got to be aware of yourself,
Okay. So if they just blatantly ignore you coming to them with whatever the issue is, and they like, oh no, she thought that's not me.
Right.
That'll be like, okay, you're not the one guy.
Exactly.
All right, I can dig it. I can dig
like it. You witnessed your mother shoot your father and you're fine. Okay. I'm gonna leave you over there because you don't even understand the level of trauma that you're not addressing.
Okay.
Yeah, that ain't normal.
So another thing mm-hmm. I like to talk about, because I'm learning this myself. Mm-hmm. As of recently learning this myself, compersion, allowing your significant mother, your mate, to be happy without you being the cause of their happiness or have anything to do with their happiness, period, or why they're happy.
That look like that took something up out you. Like that. You had a moment just then, like catch yourself.
Listen, it's a learning experience. You think, because at the end of the day, when you are with somebody, you want to be the reason why they're happy. Most of the time. You want to be that reason because that's part of the servitude to the other, right?
Mhm.
I would think. So compersion is teaching me that you may not be the cause of their happiness, but be
All the time.
all the time, but and be okay with it. You know, and I mean, I'm trying to be, I guess, textbook about what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like so if they find somebody else attractive.
Yep.
This happens in our community all the time.
Yep.
It's okay for them to find somebody else attractive.
Yep.
I mean, us as men, we get in trouble all the time for rubbernecking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And gawking and all these other things. So it's like, okay, I'm not the reason why she's flustered.
Yeah.
The reason why she's thinking about sex at the moment.
Right.
I'm not that reason.
Yes.
You
And
know?
that's okay.
And it's okay. Like so.
And all be all.
So did you?
So,
Was that something that came natural for you?
yes.
Conversion.
It does. I love happy shit, and I am of the. I know as a fact that when you're happy, I'm happy. I don't care where your happy come from, but when you're happy, life is amazing. So anything like, and earlier I told you I wanted to give you stories. I'll give you 2 stories where I was dating this guy. We were in a great relationship, traveled all the time, amazing man. And he met this woman and he loved her. He eventually came to love her. And he was just talking to me like, I don't think she's gonna handle it well when I tell her I have a girlfriend. He didn't, I always tell my men, hey, it's up to you to decide when you're ready. Some of them will tell immediately, but in this case, he didn't. And so when he told her, she left. And he was like, please call her. Oh my God, she's gone.
Wait.
So I called
Back
her.
that thing going up.
Fix it.
Back that thing going up.
And this ain't even the best part.
Your boyfriend told his woman
Yes.
to call his other woman.
Yes.
To fix a situation that ain't even her.
Yes. He was so sad. And I was so sad.
So get to the best part of the story. Let's go.
So I called her and I said, look, sis, listen, this is a good man and he wants marriage and he wants babies. Those are 2 things I'm never going to give him. Like, you guys are compatible. You have no reason to leave this man. He's told me everything about you. He loves you. And you are really walking away from an opportunity to have a better future in the way that you want it. And now, fast forward, they are married with 2 kids and living a happy life. Yes. And
case of pies.
Yes, and I eventually backed out of the situation, but for a while there, I would go and visit them and, it was great. And
my question to that, you said backed out of the situation. Why did you feel it was I don't know if it was important or not. Why did you feel the need to back out of that situation?
For me, I just how can I say it? I didn't get a good energy that she always wanted me there. And and also it's really difficult for a man to balance 2 women. And I felt that some of the things that he would do was a little bit off-putting to her. I just have to school men sometimes. Like, you got to do things more equal. And so I faded to black just so that she can always be happy and comfortable with him. And, it was better for them than me at that point.
Okay.
I mean, especially when you've already made the decision that, okay, I'm going to get her back because I I already know that I can't fulfill all of the needs that you actually have, and she can, and you actually are a good fit. So
Yes.
I was thinking something totally different.
to fall back for you to have
I was thinking something
all the
totally
things you know.
I was
What
like,
were you thinking? But yes.
okay, I was thinking like the dude came to you. I can't have this energy around me. Fix this shit. I need you to be great because if you ain't great, I'm going to get all the bullshit. And I ain't trying to have it. Get this girl on the phone. I'm sorry. That's what I went with that. That's what I'm like, you know what? Okay.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
But
So one of our sippers says, both women have to have a level of respect, and the outsider needs to know and understand her place and time.
well.
The outsider. What?
Well, I would imagine the
The person-
outsider being the other woman.
The
So
person that's outside.
I would never, I would never call another woman the outsider. I don't even call the other woman the number two. I don't even call the other woman the side or your new boo. I just say,
the addition, she says.
Yes.
They corrected it. They said the addition.
Yes, because it's just it's no competition. It's just I want you to be happy. I want you to know love. It's none of. I don't like when guys are like, you my main, right? I don't want to be a main because one day somebody else is gonna come along and then I'm gonna notice you ain't called me your main in 3 weeks, and so don't even do it. Like I don't care about that. I just care that you're loving me in the way that I need to be loved when I need that.
So, do you feel like, okay, when you deal with multiple people, right? So when you deal with multiple people, you feel like the love that you may have for one may be different from the other.
Every time,
Right.
Just like with children, every time.
Right. So, I mean, but us as people, regular people, we can't decipher between the loves when it comes to people outside of family.
And that's
right?
unfortunate. We missing out.
You know what I'm saying? Or when it comes to a point where a man may cheat or a woman may cheat on their spouse or being dishonest about it, and then they ask that question like, well, what did she do or what did he do better, or why wasn't I enough? And
Right.
then that doesn't necessarily mean that they wasn't enough, right?
Exactly. I tell men and women all the time, like, you about to throw away your whole relationship because they got some ass. Like, don't do it. It's not about but they did it. They don't give a fuck about that person, and you're throwing away everything because you don't understand how anatomy works. Like it's a work to be monogamous. So when you realize that somebody is not, I just don't recommend throwing away your whole shit, because a lot of the times we throw away everything and now that person is not with that person. They not with you, and they're hurt. Like I know so many people that are just in not good situations because they fucked up and they're forever having to pay that price, and they didn't want the person they was cheating with. It's not about that half the time. It's just sex.
Well,
right. And that's what I think when it comes to having the additions and things like that into your dynamics, everybody want equal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be some moments that probably won't necessarily be a level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it's going to be some give and take.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is actually truly more than just a fuck, and it's actually a relationship, you should be most likely getting the quality time that's deserving. Now if the dynamics is where your addition is only exclusive to a person, and not, you know, a joint addition. You know, it is work, because if the man or the woman, whichever person has the addition, don't take care of, you know, their primary responsibilities, it's like, how do you feel that you have, I don't want to necessarily say deserving, but you don't deserve an addition if you don't have your primary responsibilities in an orderly fashion. And so when the addition is receiving, you know, more attention or whatever, the primary responsibilities being slack, you're going to now you're doing this friction. And so it's like, what we not gonna do. And then, so that's what, you know, like you were saying about the main, wait a minute. So are we, is something happening in the atmosphere? You know, hello. You know what I mean? And then it's like, because if things are shifting, you know, it gets a little tricky. You know, it is the way it is with the whole dynamics of
and
being friendly in the lifestyle.
I could tell you a little opposite of that story too, where it's kind of opposite, but I was dating, actually he was my ex, so I'm just gonna tell the full, like, the story in its natural, because so my ex was here, and then one of my friends was here, and you know, everybody knows that I share all of my partners. So she was like, yo, is it okay if, and I was like, yeah, you want to fuck too. So they got together. And then when I woke up that morning, I go into the bedroom where they are, and we're like planning to go to the grocery store. And so he goes, can I get a kiss? And so I was like, so we both said yes, because I guess we both thought he was talking to us. So then
that was great.
He kissed me, but he didn't kiss her. So then I was like, okay, like, he literally just getting out the bed with this woman, and I need you to kiss her too, but he didn't. So I didn't say nothing. And then and then they go to the grocery store, they come back, and she's like, look what we got. And he has these big, beautiful flowers for me. And so I'm like, where's her flowers? And he's like, oh shit, I should have got, yeah, you should have. So then he comes back, and her flowers are this little. My bouquet was like this. And I'm like, my dude, like, what are you doing? So they don't know what they doing sometimes.
Well, hold on.
They don't want the primary cause, their primary to be like, hold on, wait a minute.
And I don't want to be a primary. I just want, if you're gonna do this, do it right.
But that's the dynamics that you have established, the foundation. I'm gonna give you, hold on. When you see, what we have to make sure, ladies and gentlemen of the Sipper Squad, is that we are not talking about a one-way end all be all.
Exactly.
This is the life of an asexual woman talking to you. Okay. This is not the foundation. This is not the blueprint. This is not the guideline. Okay. If that don't work for you,
it's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay. Okay. Don't go saying that you heard that it's supposed to be that way. That is not what you heard.
I'm gonna preface what you're saying, baby.
I'm sorry, I just want to make
sure. You're good. Yeah, absolutely.
For the record.
It needs to be said, but I'm gonna say it in a different way.
Very good.
I'm saying it in a different way. Listen, each relationship to its own. It's in a creation, it's a movement that's different from any other. Like every other man or woman are their own person. It's the same with a relationship. That's what I would say to that. But back to this man and these flowers and not kissing this woman. Okay, so it depends on the discussion that they were having. Like if this was just sex,
It
right?
was.
If it's just sex, then I don't feel the obligation to be emotional.
That's how he.
I don't, I'm saying, I don't feel like that.
Right.
I don't necessarily, we all know what this is.
Right.
This is
we came here for.
We know what we came here for. So I get the gentlemanly gestures that you were suggesting, like kiss her too. Well, if I'm kissing her like that, then that's opening the gateway for something maybe that he didn't want to have other than that moment.
Oh, for sure. She
Right.
definitely wanted more from him. He didn't want that from her, but he also wanted to fuck her. So you are right. But I just don't like that shit. Like I need you to not, I don't want to be around the energy of somebody feeling like they're on the outside of something.
Okay, no problem.
So one of our comments says, it's a hard concept to understand that women can accept equal emotional affections.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that goes back to what we talked about earlier, right? We talked about that princess, that mentality that you are the one, you're the chosen one.
Wait, so what did the comment say? I just want to.
It's a hard concept to understand that a woman can accept equal emotional affections. So I guess what you're saying is, what I'm understanding is what you're saying, okay, you just fuck this woman and you ain't gonna give her a kiss.
Exactly.
Please give her a kiss.
Right.
Okay? Then he come back with, they got you flowers. I should have got my flowers. Oh, all right, shit. And then you get these little flowers. So I'm thinking that's what, if I'm saying it wrong, let me know if that's not what you were conveying. It's a hard concept to understand that a woman can accept equal emotional affections.
Well, he could be talking about the whole
He said normally women expect to be the primary in most cases. So that is why the disclaimer was
and she was asexual.
My thing is,
this is the light that is being conveyed of a woman that is asexual. So she's speaking about her experiences. She's talking and sharing with things that are common, uncommon, practices with what paths she's crossed. So with that being said, I asked earlier about what are some things that like that really quirks you, that people they just already assume,
They assume I'm fucking. They assume I'm a hoe. They assume I got all these partners because I just want sex. And I wish that was true. But the reality is I'm not. And the reality is, another thing they assume is that I get a lot. Well, I just love too deep for that, and it's like, so I actually love deep too. All of the people I'm dating, I love them deep, so, and I also get that I really, I just don't care. Like, you must just don't care. If you don't feel jealous, if you don't. So I do have a situation I want to get you guys' opinion on that happened to me in real life. And it was very hard for me because I didn't know what to do. And then I'll tell you what I did do. But in this situation, I was dating this guy. And we were in California and I wanted him to meet somebody. So I wanted him just to have the best time ever. So I put him on a dating app and he met this woman on a dating app and they met up at the beach. And I was just on the beach in a different area where they were. And then long story short, they ended up really hitting it off and then they maintained a relationship. She knew about me right away. He told her about me. We met like the next day, her and I. She was incredible. And they ended up being in a relationship. So her and I were in a relationship with the same guy for about a year. After about a year, I decided to leave him. And it was very sudden. He did something and it was just like, I'm out. So now my question was, do I tell the other woman because if I tell her this, she may leave him too. And I know that he's happy with her, and I know that it's going to mess him up that I'm leaving. So what would you have done?
Well,
I mean,
I believe in the art of minding my own business.
that's her move.
Now, if it was something that was directed, that was just me feeling a certain way, or it was done to me directly, that this person, you know, it just only might happen to me. Then I don't want to bring my emotions, my feelings, you know, or my circumstance into something that's potential. And at the end of the day, do I really give a fuck? Like, how's this going to impact my bills, my sleep, my eating? See, it gets deep for me. And so if it ain't impacting the major arteries,
Yes.
baby,
Yes.
I'll fit to mind my business.
Yes. I love it.
I understand that. But on a surface level, we have a responsibility as humans to make sure that whatever it is that's going on isn't something that affects more than you. Like if it was,
those ain't dying, they don't kill nobody.
He could have did something. He could have been, you know, he could have touched a child. It could have been something.
No, he pretty much like jumped at me like he was gonna punch me. And I saw that behavior and I was just like, no. And then I was torn, like, well, do I let her know that? Or
I mean, I'm not gonna say I would let her know, but if she asks, I'm not gonna disclose.
Maybe she knows and you don't know.
Oh, right.
Right. I mean, like, so it's like, do you?
Right.
I mean, does it hurt? In that situation that you just illustrated to me, I would go with the baby sentiments. Like, okay, I'm out this thing. I ain't even got to worry about it no more. But then again, I'm gonna ask you this question: What is the relationship between you and her?
Oh, I loved her. She was amazing. She loved me. You know, we were like sister wives.
Okay, so she would basically trust your judgment.
Yes.
So then that changes the dynamic of how you would approach the situation.
So you have to be very gingerly about approaching it because you know that you could potentially sway a circumstance and make it become escalated prematurely when it may have been a isolated circumstance. So
absolutely.
We trying to dissect.
Isn't that hard? Like I had never wait.
I say this thing.
What say ye old sippers?
Yeah, I had never
my man said he need more information.
You got more information. He punk faked her.
He punk faked.
Well, I mean, it might not have been, you know, and she was like, hey, whoa. You know, shit roll on him. And so now she's like, whoa.
So my next question, Velvet, to this situation, to this specific situation. So instead of, you know, did you ask him to get help, like anger management stuff? Did you suggest this to him?
No, I actually had one time we were in Thailand and he punched a wall. So I had seen this before.
Oh, he crazy.
Right. So I had seen it before, but I was like,
well, hold on, man. Having anger issues don't make you crazy. Sorry.
It's up there with crazy.
So my question, this is why I'm saying this, right? I'm gonna get to a reason why I'm saying it. Because it has to be a level of love, right? For somebody in order to suggest them to get this anger management and not walk away from it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, sometimes I don't want to. I just want to see that red flag and get the fuck on. I seen it before and I ignored it. So when I seen it that second time, I don't really want to teach you about that. I want to get the fuck on.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what one of the sippers says.
Okay.
I will have a conversation with her about domestic violence. Gauge if she had that experience with him. And then expand accordingly. Right.
Well,
Because you know how you do have an established relationship with her. You know, we as women, we know how to tactfully talk to our friend girl, you know.
yes.
And so get it in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Get in there.
Get in there. And so with that being said, you can now you knock on the door, they say, who is it? It me. And then, you know, kind of, you don't have to necessarily go in depth, but if you dance on it, you know what I'm saying? Dance on that
You
thing.
might hear the same song.
You right. And then you're like, oh, really? Oh, okay. You know, like then you play kind of dumbfounded-ish, you know, but then, well, I mean, I'm not saying maybe it was just an isolated situation, but you know, yeah, definitely keep your eyes open for that. If you care about her to the point on a level of friendship and, you know, just cordial love and, you know, girl to girl and, you know, and because you actually have examples that you know, live experiences, punching a wall. I mean, Thailand, I don't know how thick a wall is, but yeah, you know, just saying. But then, hey, you know, just
See, like the whole part about punching the wall, she think about Thailand.
Well, I'll tell you, I ended up, I didn't tell her anything because it was a very hard decision. Like I really overthought it and I just decided that, you know, our situation is different. Maybe I hope that she would never have to see that. But also I didn't know how to talk about that without being upset at him. And I didn't want to, you know, she had a great relationship with him. So I didn't want to taint that for her.
Are they still in a relationship? Are they still in a relationship?
They were recently, they did break up. I didn't talk to him for a year after that day that he pump faked me. I literally went more than a year without ever speaking to him or her again. And so when we did come back, because he just sincerely apologized and I asked about her and he said that, you know, she doesn't like you. She said you fake, you just disappeared and she don't know why you did. And I told him, I said, well, did you tell her what happened? And he said, no. And I said, well, that's why I didn't, you know, because I knew that you probably wouldn't tell her this. And I wanted her to just continue being happy. And so I chose not to. It wasn't, you know, and so she doesn't talk to me. She don't want to have nothing to do with me now. And so that's why I asked that question. But it's okay.
So why was it important to you to walk away from her?
Because I really want people to be happy. And I knew that they were happy. And so it was just, I chose to not mess that up. And hopefully one day we'll have a conversation.
Okay. Because I'm listening to the story, right? And at the end of the day, you made a choice, good or bad. However, you felt it was the right choice for you, right? But there's somebody in this situation who was hurt, and it wasn't him.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And she, I'm not knowing her, but she probably enjoyed the connection that she had with you as well.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it with her too. Absolutely.
Just poof, it be gone. You know what I'm saying?
And who knows what he may or may not have seen. So
right.
That part.
Yeah.
Have you tried to reach out to her?
No. when he told me how she felt and that, you know, she's angry. And then when I asked him, well, did you tell her what happened? And he said no. I just decided I could reach out, but still I'm at that point where I'm like, well, this is what happened, you know, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, no doubt.
Well, considering that there's really nothing necessarily to lose, but at least if it, you know, but it has to be something that you want. Like if like me, sometimes I just want clarity.
Okay.
And so for clarity purposes, I would probably be more inclined to listen. I understand you guys are not really in a relationship anymore or whatever, you may be on a hiatus, but I really, if you hear me out, I can make this and tell you this in 8 minutes. You know,
I think I will do that. I think I'm gonna text her tonight, you know, because I will do that because when him and I linked up and he told me that they were still in a relationship. It was just recently that he told me that, hey, we broke up. He was feeling pretty sad about it. So I think now could be a good time because it's over.
Right. And this, you know, look, I'm not trying to be your friend. It doesn't have to be, I understand, because he did explain to me how you felt. However, I really just wanted for clarity purposes, if you would allow me a few moments of your time, I just want to make it clear to you my why. How you take it from here, I'm good, but at least I don't want you to be making a, you know, while you're making your judgment call, you'll be knowing it from me for clarity purposes.
I love that. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna tell y'all what happened.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, before we go, the gentleman said, if you were concerned about his behavior, you could have left her in a dangerous situation, worrying about her happiness, worrying about her basically. So worrying about her being happy by not telling her, you may have placed her in a situation, and you probably gonna get an earful too when you do talk to her.
Yeah,
the part that he didn't tell. Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
Great.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I'm so super excited. I'm glad we brought you back. I know he was super geeked. He's like, we're gonna have her by herself.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
I was an advocate for the selfness.
Well, I'm here for it anyway. You know, I have no conflict. I'm here for all of it. And you come back. You know, I mean, I'm cool with that. Look, that's what we're here for. That's what this platform is available and readily made for, so that we can continue to promote awareness, and not just awareness for any particular topic. Our awareness, our platform gives awareness on a plethora of things: sexuality, health, mental health, physical health, sexual health, parental health, all the health, and above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Look, it can be ratchet.
Hashtag for elbow love.
Elbow love. Got some new.
Lord.
Listen, you close your eyes, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know if you close your eyes. I promise.
Baby,
put it in there.
We going in there.
Get it. Get it, put it in there. Lock and load.
That grip, man, I like it.
I just said, lock and load.
Hold on, did you say gorilla grip? Oh no.
You know what? I can't fool with him. Listen, Linda, listen. So, what do we learn tonight, boys and girls?
That you can be in a relationship without sex.
And it be great.
And don't have to cheat.
And be healthy.
And you can turn pain into joy. All your pain can be turned.
I learned about elbow love.
Elbow
you don't
love.
have to be a victim.
You don't have to be a victim.
Exactly.
You can forgive, but you don't have to forget, but you can move on. Just saying.
There was a lot of nuggets in this thing. We're going to dissect it. For
those that stay tuned the whole entire episode, thank you.
Yay! All the best.
Yes. And what you can do is share this content. You've already made some comments, but share the content. It's free. And if you have a topic, or if you are aware of a guest that we can collaborate with,
absolutely,
send them up through there. We are making provisions for that. And let's see what we have. I have to catch the replay. You are beautiful, and thank you for the insight. Buddha and baby, you two are awesome as always.
You too are awesome, baby.
Thanks, Marika. So tonight we had Miss Velvet Loves on our show, and she is a woman living a life asexual. We talked about what asexuality was, and so what you can do is rewind and
shout out to those on the replay.
Hey, we like the replay. We know where y'all be coming from because I be seeing these numbers and stuff. So yeah, pull up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So next week, same time, same energy. You got some closing remarks, young man?
Well, I was just you're doing great, man. I was gonna ask how can they follow you?
Yes.
How can they follow you?
I'm really not on social medias, but I'm working. I'm trying to get my shit together. So I'm on Facebook as Zakia Myers, but I'm growing a platform. I'm on IG as Z Travels, ZEE. But again, I haven't been on IG in years. It's terrible, I know. But
we're gonna get all right. We're gonna get all right.
I'm getting my branding together.
So I tell you what you do, right? When you get the podcast up and running like you want it, just shoot it to me so I can start posting it, and that way the simplest can get a hold of yours truly. They may not be able to get you directly, but they can get a part of you. You know what I mean?
Yes, I appreciate that. Y'all amazing. Thank you.
Well, we're glad we had you back. So, with technical difficulties did not take place tonight. Thank you for coming back, being so patient with us. You know, I know y'all have been in communication, and to make sure we made this show to be awesome. Like we said in the beginning, what was going to happen tonight? It was going to be awesome.
Yes,
absolutely.
Pleasant.
And very pleasant and very educational, in my opinion. I know.
And I stayed super clean.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Because this was important. Like it was
important.
It was not a joking matter. Like we were talking about trauma, asexuality, elbow love, and all this other stuff.
Elbow love. He's gonna find a way.
I mean, geez.
I want to hear about this story when we talk again.
Hey, listen. It's going down. May not be tonight, but it's going down.
Get that knee in there too now.
Simple.
You say coconut oil? That's what we need?
Coconut.
Oh, I got you.
Share this content.
Yes.
It's free.
Okay. And can I just say shout out to all of my bisexual and gay lovers out there. I love y'all. Hit me up if you're single.
Boo boo.
I have nothing but love. I
got nothing but love for you, baby.
Be who you are and hit me up.
Okay, 5 heartbeats. I got you. At least you try to slide in. Think I wouldn't recognize the song.
All right, y'all. Listen. Same time, same energy. Next week, live, 8 p.m. Eastern. Buddha. Baby. All right, now y'all. Y'all be good. You got me?
Night.
He got me some music that he ain't even got ready.
What's up, baby?
What?
You amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you. Y'all the bomb.